In order to support optimal rolling over, I would make use of a two-step strategy. The first step in that strategy would be to ensure that the body has good rotation for that cross plane, and it doesn't matter if your child is on their tummy and we're feeling for the crossing motion, or if they're sitting on your lap and we're working on that crossing motion, or if they're on their back and we're working on that crossing motion. We're just making sure that all the points have the availability for that crossing motion. Once we've mastered the crossing motion and no points are stuck, then I would work on a whole body coordination for the rolling over milestone. Basically, if I had a little baby who's 2.5 to 3 months old, I would then place my hands on the pelvis and close to the head. Michelle calls it the hanging technique, and it's basically we're offering like just that subtle light support. We're not holding everything for them, but we're just offering that just light hanging support. And we're here on the pelvis and we're here on the head. And if you have like a little baby, what that would look like is you would just be rolling them. And what you're doing when you're rolling down is you're going to, and I'll show you like drastically, you're rolling the pelvis into that strike. So when we're rolling over, you got your thumb here and you're just rolling the pelvis out as your hands are here on the head to keep it up and out. You might go, peekaboo baby. You're just holding them and you got them here and you're rolling the pelvis out. Peekaboo baby. And you're going to make sure that you want to do that movement bilaterally to the other side. You know what I mean? And you would just be working on, that would be coordinating the whole body movement of the roll. Erin talks about it being like a big circle. We're basically having our hands at either ends of the big circle points, and we're there just to support the optimal movement of that roll. I'll just quickly show what that might look like if you're playing with your baby. If you have a little baby or even an older child, like say you have a more medically complex child and you're working on coordinating the whole body movement, then you're going to do the same strategy. You might, make use of the full width of your arm coming underneath here, and it goes along and down the back, and you have your hand here near the pelvis, and what we're doing is we're rotating the pelvis out, supporting the head to be up for that rolling position. And we would just work, doesn't matter if they're a baby or if they're 2 or 4 years old, we're just working on them experiencing this movement successfully. And we want to make sure that we're doing it from the other side as well, helping them experience this rolling over movement successfully. So if you see here on my thumb, you'll just notice like that roll into the pelvis, so the pelvis goes into a strike. My hand's here. I'm just helping ensure that the head's being kept up and back again. I'm providing you with examples that I'm doing with my son, and you might be thinking, well, my child isn't capable of doing some of the examples that you're showing. Maybe they're a lot younger or more medically complex. In some of the exercises, I have him working on that crossing by verbally telling him, to punch a target with his opposite hands, and he's able to do that. Your child might not be there, but if you need adaptive strategy ideas, you can always just leave a comment and ask for some adaptive strategy ideas. For example, one of the adaptive strategy ideas that I would make use of, trading out my verbal cues of telling him to switch hands and punch in a cross motion, would be if you have your child, you could get from the dollar store, they've got like little puck lights. When you click them, they turn on, and you click them and they turn off. This is a awesome cause and effect reaction. So what you can do is you can have your child, sitting on your lap, and you can stick those puck lights on the wall, and then you're just there guiding and supporting. So you want to see that cross. So you would just guide and support their hands, press the button on, so it would click on, and then guiding them back down. And you want to make sure that you're doing it on both sides. So you might even come underneath their arm, guiding for pushing on the puck light for that cause and effect, and coming back. So that would be an adaptive strategy idea for a child who maybe can't take verbal commands, for working on that crossing, with providing them with a cause and effect feedback, and you're just offering them more support instead of them independently doing the movements on their own. You're right there underneath them, and you're helping support them to do that movement with you. I'm not taking their hands and making them push the button. I'm just offering that nice guidance to be successful.
These are videos of me working with my son as a baby, and I'm making use of that two-step process. First step is to ensure he has rotation on the cross plane in his body. I did this in many positions. I worked on his spine while he nursed, feeling for the cross plane in each vertebrae. My touch is gentle and supporting, not forcing. Going under his body versus placing my hands on top allowed me to support and not force the movements. Step 2 was whole body coordination. I did this with the help of my husband to coordinate his rolling over movements with his vision. I support the rotation where needed for the movement. With consistent practice, I was then able to work on his rolling by making use of a visual target. I still work and practice on his rolling over even as he grows. With consistent practice, we were able to master the rolling over skill.